Listening Library presents Water in Her Veins by Shannon Schuren. Read for you by Elena Rey. For my dad, there are still days when I wish I could pick up the phone and share some amazing news with you. This is one of those days. We are linked by blood, and blood is memory without language. Joyce Carol Oates. Sometimes it's blood memory, not the blood your mother and father gave you, but that which stretches back 2,000 or 3,000 years. Martha Graham. But chains made out of blood and memory were 1,000 times more difficult to sever than those made of steel, and the past could overtake a person if she wasn't careful. Alice Hoffman. Chapter 1. My first memory is of blood. I was maybe 4, playing outside with my friends underneath the old elm tree on the edge of the empty lot that probably belonged to the Presbyterian church next door, but the neighborhood kids have always treated it like it was ours. Jesse lived around the corner, and with his shaggy curls and Converse sneakers, he was easily the coolest boy I knew. In my recollection, he's much older, practically a teenager. Though since we eventually went to the same high school, he couldn't have been more than 7 or 8. All the same, I loved him. We all did. While my friends and I would play with our dolls, building houses among the roots, he'd climb high onto the branches above us. Sometimes, I'd catch a flash of his blue eyes between the leaves. Other times, he'd call down suggestions for our play. Most involved taking off the Barbie's tiny halter tops, but I ignored those. Wasn't it enough that he wanted our attention? This older, shining boy who climbed so close to the sun, who was wild and free and used the word boobs without so much as a giggle. He was a star above us, and we were content to bask in his presence back on Earth. And yet, I wasn't as shocked as he seemed to be when he plummeted from a weak branch and landed at our feet. Even as a preschooler, I understood the basic properties of gravity. What goes up comes down. You climb a tree, eventually you will fall. Even cute boy gods. And truthfully, I was a little bit thrilled. He'd never joined our game before, and now here he was. So close I could count the freckles on the bridge of his nose. It wasn't that I didn't care, but this was Jesse. He was invincible. I wasn't happy that he'd fallen, but I certainly wasn't scared. Not until I saw the blood. Thick and rusty, soaking his jeans and pooling beneath his leg, which we later learned was broken in 2 places. He tried to sit up, shooting a dazed look in my direction as I rocked back on my heels, clutching my Barbie doll. He grabbed at his leg, then reached out to grab my hand, his own slick with blood. He missed, catching Barbie's golden tresses instead, streaking them crimson. That's where the memory stops, because that's when I fainted. A crash jerks me from my daydreaming, and I tear my gaze from the kitchen window, where the elm tree is just visible at the corner of the lot. The movers must have dropped something. Again. Their voices echo loudly through the house as they reassure Mom that nothing's broken. I rub the throbbing space above the bridge of my nose. I'm never at my best in the morning. Waking up is brutal, like clawing my way out of a deep, dark cave, leaving me raw and achy and emotional, even on a good day. And today is not a good day. As the Keurig burbles to a stop, I dump sugar and non-dairy creamer into my travel mug before heading to the front porch. One of the movers, a scraggly men-at-work wannabe in denim shorts and an orange running vest, nods as he holds the screen door. This small act of chivalry pisses me off, and I glare at him, resisting the urge to toss my coffee cup in the bushes and chase him down before he can load the truck with all of my worldly possessions. Wow, it's early. Who knew there was a 6 o'clock in the morning? Mom's voice is husky with fatigue as she joins me on the porch swing. It's an old joke, but I force a smile and take a gulp of coffee. Neither of us is a morning person. Left to our own devices, we'd probably sleep till noon. But Kurt says you waste half the day that way, so he's gone ahead and booked the movers for this ungodly hour. And Mom, being her usual supportive self, has tried to rally behind him. She's already dressed and pulled her hair back into a ponytail instead of the wild tangle of curls she usually sports right out of bed. I turn away from the door, ignoring the movers, and try to focus on the sunrise as it paints the sky in hues of softest pink. The night shadows slink back to reveal Mom's hydrangeas bent low, as if in prayer, the blooms so full they drag on the ground. My throat aches for all this beauty, for all the time I've wasted, for all that we're leaving behind. Behind me, I hear a scrape and a crash, followed by a muttered curse word. I wince, but refuse to look. I dreamed about Irma's, I say instead, clearing my throat. I wish we'd gone last night. One last time. When Mom doesn't comment, I turn my head in time to see her dash a tear with her index finger as the movers drag her bedroom vanity down the steps. Never mind, I say. No big deal. I'm sure they have ice cream in Colorado. She reaches over and squeezes my hand. I'm sure they do, but not like Irma's. She smiles, and for a second, things feel like they used to. Me and Mom against the world. Life may knock us down, but it wasn't anything a watermelon freeze or a peanut butter sundae couldn't fix. I'll bet we'll find something even better than Irma's. Something dairy-free and delicious. Kurt lets the screen door slam behind him as he comes to stand in front of us, hands on hips, a ridiculous grin plastered across his face. Then again, some things even ice cream can't sweeten. Mom gives my hand another squeeze before dropping it and hopping up to wrap her arms around her new husband. I can barely think of the word without gagging. It's not that I didn't want her to ever get married. I just thought she'd choose someone more like her. From the tip of her wild curls and his military precision crew cut down to her thrift store Crocs and his Air Jordans, they're polar opposites. He's also 10 years younger and almost an inch shorter. Mom says none of that matters, but I think we both know she's lying. Irma's our happy place, she says, resting her head on his shoulder. Was, Kurt says, kissing the top of her head. New town, new start, remember? And who knows? Maybe the mountain air will be so healing Lola can try a regular diet again, with real ice cream. My face flushes. I'm right here, you moron. But my new stepdick's superpower is the ability to make me feel invisible, even when the conversation is about me. The diet helps, Mom says, smiling brightly at me. It's just so restrictive. But maybe you're right. She pats his chest. We can try reintroduction. Slowly, depending on what this new doctor says. Or maybe it's time you took a step back, like we talked about. See what happens when you give her some breathing room. I'm her mother. And then, maybe feeling guilty for her tone, she adds, I know you mean well, but you don't know.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?